Okay, so this is video number 3 on syllabus, and it is going on with a little bit more on plagiarism. Uh, Here was another student who came into my class, and I'm going to do a guy now, and he was getting A's on all of his speeches. A's, A. And at that time, I think we had 7 or 8 speeches, and I just heard, and they were all of his speeches were good speeches, and I knew they weren't plagiarized. And so we came to his fifth speech, and the class just before his had finished their speeches, and now it came to his class, because I had back-to-back classes then, and they were face-to-face classes. And his group was the first group to go, because that's how I do it. I don't do, well, I can't do it in this class. We're going to be giving individual speeches. I was going to explain that. Forget that. All right, so he, after I had finished this first class, I came to back-to-back class, the next class, and I'm hearing his group give their speeches, and he was the first person to give the speech in his group. Okay, but can't do groups now. And so he started his speech, and I stopped him. He'd given his speech, about 30 seconds or 40 seconds into it, and I stopped him. I said, wait a minute. I said, 15 minutes ago, I just heard this same exact speech in my other class. And he says, well, I don't know about that. He says, because this is my own speech. And I said, well, all of your other speeches have been really good, so go ahead, give your speech. But I said, it's really strange. I said, it really sounded like the same speech. And so he continued on with his speech, and I had to stop him again later in his speech. And I said, I'm sorry that I have to stop you again. I said, this is 15 minutes ago. I swear I heard the same exact speech. And he says, this is my own speech. And I said, all right. I says, but do you know what the mathematical probability of me hearing the same exact speech is 15 minutes apart out of let me see, it was 6.5 billion people on this planet then. Out of 6.5 billion people on this planet, in Los Angeles, at little old East LA College, I say, I am hearing the same exact speech. I said, what's the mathematical probability of that ever happening? And he says, I don't know. I'm not good at math. I said, neither am I. I said, but it must be totally phenomenal. He says, oh, this is my own speech. I said, all right, go ahead, finish your speech. And he finished it. And I said, I can't accuse you of plagiarism. I said, and I'm pretty sure I heard it exactly word for word in the last class. And I said, you have given A speeches in all of your 5 speeches, because I'm giving you an A on this one too. I said, have a nice day. And then he blew the entire class. He blew it off because he never came back, because he knew I'd caught him at plagiarism and that I was probably going to give him an F, and so he never came back. He dropped the class. Okay? Now, here is a woman, because I just gave you a guy, woman, guy, and this is the last one I'm going to give you for plagiarism, so you'll know what plagiarism is. So I'm taking a role in the face-to-face class, and I come to her, and I call her name, and I look at her, and I said, oh, you have a new hairstyle. I said, you usually have your hair up. I said, but now you have it down over your ears. I said, it's a really nice hairstyle. And she thanked me, and I went on and took the rest of the role. And then her group was the first group to go. I heard the first speech, I heard the second speech, I heard the third speech, and then I came to her. And it started like this. There was a pause. And in that silence, I heard this. What the hell am I hearing? And then she started her speech. And then after a while, I heard another pause, and I heard this. I thought, what the hell am I hearing? And I looked at the other members of her group, and they, looked normal. And I thought, well, maybe I'm losing my hearing. And so I listened to her some more, and she paused, and she went, and then I heard, I heard in the pause, and then I caught on, and I laughed, and she laughed. And I said, you go ahead, you finish your speech. And she, would give a little bit of her speech, she'd pause, and I'd hear, and a little bit of her speech, and then pause, and I'd hear, and then after she finished her speech, see, I didn't critique it, because I heard everyone in the group first. And then I came back and I critiqued the first person. I critiqued the second person. Then I critiqued the third person. Then I came to her. And I said to her, yours was an amazing speech. And she thanked me. And I said, it was like a voice from God was coming down and talking in those earbuds that you have behind your hair. And that is why you have a new hairstyle, because you're hiding those earbuds. Am I right? I says, you've plagiarized this whole speech because you were hearing it in there. Someone was giving you that speech. Am I correct? I says, let me see those earbuds. Oh! And she panicked and she started to cry, and I let her cry because I was enjoying it. And then I said to her, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick you out of this class, and I'm going to kick you out of ELAC, because I can do that for plagiarism, okay? Do you want that to happen to you? And she said, oh, no, please, no. And I said, all right, look, I know you haven't plagiarized your other speeches, and you're going to redo this speech and never plagiarize again, and promise me you're never going to plagiarize again, because are you going to go to the university? And she said, yes, I am. And I said, I'm going to follow you to the university, and I'm going to sit in those classes to make sure that you never plagiarize again. And she said, I won't, I promise. I said, I'll be there. And she didn't. She didn't plagiarize. So look, people, plagiarism means if you use someone else's words all the way through your speech and you never give me your opinions, it's plagiarism. So don't do that. Just give me your opinions and then give me other opinions from other sources. That's cool. Okay? So that's the last speech, or the last of the video that I'm giving you on plagiarism. And so that's the last of this video, and then we'll go to the next part of your syllabus. So follow along.